now that you know that fat is not a problem, what causes heart disease? So let's cover that. Okay? So this is exciting as well. So let's go into the actual cause or causes of heart disease. You know, when I was doing some research in Boston, we know in research that when you feed wheat to the animals like rats or mice, we can actually induce naturally heart disease in those animals.
I'm smelling the gluten coming on.
So not gluten in that case actually. So there's a protein in wheat called agglutinin. Okay, agglutinin is a type of gluten actually that when you feed the animal, it induces heart disease.
Ooh.
It causes inflammation in the arteries and buildup of plaques in the arteries, and the animals die of heart attack. So we know today that wheat is one of the main driver of heart disease. That's what Dr. Davis, the doctor I mentioned, he wrote a book called The Wheat Belly, and he shows that wheat causes heart disease. So if you have a concern with heart problems, cut wheat out. Okay, so actually at the end of the day, nobody should be eating wheat. Okay, we talked about it before. Wheat can cause cancer and heart disease, osteoporosis, and wheat is just a toxic food.
When you're mentioning that, now, you're not talking about the gluten part of wheat, right?
No.
You're not talking about that.
I'm talking about another part of gluten.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we have talked about gluten before, and I do remember you saying about 10% of the people that you see come in here, they need to get off of gluten.
Correct. In that case, it's more wheat in general. Okay, so if you have a heart problems or high blood pressure or any heart issues, corn, wheat, milk, those should be avoided. Okay, because we know wheat causes heart disease, milk can cause heart disease, corn,
So it
same thing.
It doesn't do
good. So you need to cut it out, give a break to your body. Okay, as you could expect, the main cause of heart disease is sugar.
Hey,
Okay.
Here we go.
So we're going to talk about a little bit about sugar, how sugar can cause heart disease.
Sugar.
When we say heart disease, we typically talk about plaques. That's what doctors or medical doctors are concerned, is a buildup of plaques in the arteries. And when the buildup is so tight, the blood flow is cut out, and the blood supply to the heart is not happening.
Sure.
And the heart just stop working, because the heart is a muscle, and then you have a heart attack. That's why when we talk about heart disease, we're concerned about plaque buildup. 20 years ago, some doctors asked this simple question is, what is in those plaques? Because we didn't know back then why we have plaques and what was in the plaques. What they did is they took plaques from people with plaques, and they analyzed the components of those plaques. Do you know what they found? 70% of the plaque was trans fat. Trans fat, we know today that they cause heart disease. So trans fat is from vegetable fats like corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, Crisco, the famous Crisco fat that we've been using. All those fake fats that I call it contain trans fat. So you should not use vegetable oil except like olive oil, for example. This is fine. But all these other fats you should not. And this is exactly what we've been recommending from the 70s, is to switch from animal fats to vegetable fat. And by doing that, we increase our trans fat consumption and heart disease. Okay? So there were a lot of vegetable fat in those plaques.
Yes.
Okay? So sugar, as you know, lead to an increase of insulin, right? So we know when you eat sugar, your body makes insulin to bring your sugar down in your blood, right? That's normal.
Right.
But when this happens, is insulin increase cholesterol in the body. See my point? So sugar leads to a spike in insulin, leads to a spike of cholesterol.
Wow, yes.
So if you have high cholesterol, the problem is this. Sugar. Okay? So if you cut that out, your insulin goes down and the cholesterol production goes down.
Hence, Nutrition.
His nutrition. It's really simple, actually. Cholesterol is one of the easiest thing to address.
I smell a commercial coming on about this. The trans fats, recycle. The trans fat idea in the sugar in statin would be a good thing.
It would be a good thing.
Very.
So cholesterol is needed for the body. So if sometimes I see this situation in people, they cut out the sugar, insulin is good, but the cholesterol is still high. Why is that? So cholesterol is an antioxidant, is an anti-inflammatory molecule.
Okay.
So if your cholesterol is high, despite having a low carb, low sugar diet, is because there's inflammation going on into your body. So it's needed. So your body will make more cholesterol to combat the inflammation. Because we know that inflammation can cause cancer, heart disease, joint problems.
Inflammation was the whole reason of back problems and back aches, and your muscles are sore, your knees are throbbing, and then you got to get a knee replacement. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And all it is, if you just would have taken better care of yourself with what you're putting in your body.
Exactly. And you touch a good point on that, because statin, the medication we talked about, can cause actually joint problems, inflammation. Okay? So cholesterol is needed in the body. Otherwise, your body won't make it.
Very
okay?
interesting.
So inflammation is really important. The cholesterol is really important to fight this inflammation.
Fantastic.
So what we need to do is to figure out why your body is inflamed. Okay, it can be anything, right? It could be a diet issue, it could be toxin issue, it could be anything.
Of course.
So this is one part of it. Make sense?
Very much so.
So you know when your doctor draws some blood work, they look at your cholesterol, your HDL, your bad cholesterol, your good cholesterol, and your triglyceride. So let's talk about that. So
One second. She says we're dying here. We got some phone death. You're
You're still going. It says that the phone is dying.
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose. It
Okay.
says 20% left.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about HDL, LDL,
So
and
the-
TG.
yes. So typically these are the numbers that you're gonna see on your blood panel that doctors will prescribe. Okay, draw some blood. Look at you. We call it good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, and the triglyceride. Typically, these are the ones you're gonna see, and they look at it. Oh, if your bad cholesterol is high, we're gonna put you on medication or whatever. Okay, so HDL, LDL, and triglyceride. These are carriers. These are transporters. And I want to focus on this. Actually, let's talk about HDL. So if your HDL is low, you have a higher risk of having heart problem. And the easy way to increase this is there's three things. Cut out sugar, increase your eggs intake, and increase your coconut oil intake. When you do this, HDL goes higher and it helps with heart disease. Okay? This is really simple. LDL, people call it bad cholesterol, which to me doesn't make sense because LDL is the most important transporter in the body. For this simple reason. Like I said, these transport cholesterol. So your liver makes LDL, and then your liver add different things to this to transport different things to the body. And one of the things that it transport is vitamin E. Okay, vitamin E is a potent anti-inflammatory antioxidant.
Wow.
So you need vitamin E throughout the body.
Of course.
So my point, as you can see, if you lower LDL with medication, you actually cut down the transportation of vitamin E throughout the body. And then you have more inflammation.
Yes.
And then it transport omega-3.
Uh-oh.
And we know today omega-3 is important for heart problem. So you need omega-3 to reduce the risk of heart problem. You can see the problem we are having right now. So you cut back this with medication, this which leads to reduction of omega-3 in your tissues, your cells, which leads to cancer, heart disease, and so on and so on.
My goodness.
So this is to me a good cholesterol. This is the most important cholesterol.
But
And
yet,
this
they want to cut it down.
exactly, and there's a
Yeah.
bunch of other things. There's different like vitamin D, vitamin A. There's different things that LDL would carry to different parts of the body. It's nonsense to reduce this. And if you do cut this too low, you actually can die of heart problem. Okay? It's ridiculous what we do. So LDL is really important. So when you look your LDL high on your blood work, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It means that most likely your body has to carry more vitamins and nutrition to fight inflammation. It comes down to inflammation again.
Boy, I'd hate to get you in a room with an MD.
Oh, I have.
Have you?
I have many times. I used to work with doctors, MDs, and we will talk about it, and they are totally confused and at loss when it comes to all of this. They have no idea. They are not taught this in medical school. But when you look at the science of cholesterol, this is all there. There's so much research going about these different things. Okay? So LDL, there are 12 types of LDL. Mm-hmm. Again, that's something that doctors don't look or don't know. Okay? Among these 12 types, 11 types are non-toxic. They don't cause problems. They carry nutrition. There's one type, it's called VLDL. Some doctor would prescribe the blood work for that.
Yeah.
Okay, and if this is high, that's bad.
That's why they
Okay.
call LDL.
Correct. They include all of it in this, which to me is wrong. Because 11 is good, 1 is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And VLDL, when it's high, do you know why? Again, it's because of sugar. Sugar is converted into VLDL. So if you have VLDL, you might have seen that on your blood work. Some doctors, like I said, will do that. So if your VLDL is high, it's because you eat too much sugar.
That good old sugar word again.
It's crazy.
Sugar,
It's
sugar,
crazy. Sugar. And the last part I wanted to talk about is triglyceride. You may have seen that on your blood work, triglyceride.
Sure.
If it's high, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really bad, actually. So this is one of the best markers for heart disease. Triglyceride, it's called triglyceride because it's 3. Okay? So let me go over that. So 3. So this is a molecule of triglyceride. Like I said, 3. 3 components, 3 fat molecules.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fat, triglyceride. This part is glucose, is sugar.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so it's glucose, it's sugar attached with 3 molecules of fat.
Okay.
Okay, so what I wanted to bring home with this is when you eat sugar, like I said, you have this insulin spike.
Mm-hmm.
What happens as a consequence of insulin is the body will attach these molecules to this molecule, leading to the triglyceride. Okay, and leading to a high triglyceride.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few things to look into. One is if you don't eat sugar, your body does not make this component, and your body cannot attach this to this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you don't eat sugar, you don't have insulin, and your body cannot attach these molecules to sugar. Okay?
Interesting.
And if you don't eat sugar, you don't have this component because this fat comes from sugar. Okay? So sugar does 3 things to triglyceride. Okay? No sugar, you don't have this part. No sugar, you don't have this part. And no sugar, your body cannot attach these components together. And if you don't eat sugar, your triglyceride is down.
I think the word sugar, I'm just going to have to use that. Anytime you ask me a question, I'm going to say, cut out sugar.
Sugar. That's why I talk all the time about sugar with people.
Yeah.
And they don't
How much
realize,
sugar do you eat? Yeah.
people don't see the connection of what sugar does to the body. And sugar does a lot for heart disease. It's amazing. And triglyceride, by the way, which comes back to the first question I asked you initially, is why people get fat. It's because of triglyceride. So your body has to make triglyceride in order to store this triglyceride into your fat tissues.
Okay.
So if you don't have insulin, you don't have sugar, you don't have this component, your body is not making triglyceride, you don't gain weight.
Mm.
So it's as simple as that. You cut
So
out
pretty
sugar.
easy. You want to lose weight. You want to get in shape. You want to get healthier. Cut out sugar.
Exactly. That's the first thing. Don't get me wrong. I have people, they come, they do all that. They cut out sugar, they eat well. They still cannot lose weight. So that means there's a metabolic issue. So
For
you
sure.
have to fix your thyroid, your hormones, or something else. Actually, by the way, triglyceride is able to shut down your thyroid,
Mm-hmm.
okay, which can lead to weight gain as well. Okay, it's a vicious cycle. So at the end of the day, as you can see, after going over all these different facts, is there's one thing to do for heart problem. Cut out sugar.
Cut out the sugar, which is what we're all doing here. This is Mind and Body Solutions, and we're talking about nutrition. And basically, we're giving the most simplest thing here to most of our problems in life.
Yeah.
Week after week after week of doing Serge for the truth is get rid of the sugar.
Sugar. I will give you an example of a guy that I help. He's about 80 years old. He came to the office with 80% blockages in his arteries. And the doctor wanted to do surgery.
Of course.
Makes sense, that's what they do. So his wife was not quite okay with that. So the wife brought the guy in and we look at it and we recommend a diet.
Very old.
Yes,
Keep cutting
exactly.
the body, yeah.
He wanted to do all these different things to help him, and he was not in good shape to do surgeries and all that. So we recommended a diet that doesn't have any sugar, so a sugar-free diet, a wheat-free diet. So basically a paleo diet, so no grain, no milk products, mostly vegetables, some fruit, some nuts, and meat.
Mhm.
And I give him some herbs. So we use a protocol in the office that has 6 herbs. These 6 herbs have been shown and known to actually remove plaques from the arteries.
Whoa.
So 6 months later, he went to see his surgeon again, his doctor again, and he did some more tests to see what's going on. And 70% of the plaque was gone.
That's just.
And the doctor was puzzled and confused, like, how is that possible? Because they've never seen that. Doctors don't know. They don't realize that we can reverse,
don't
remove
know.
the plaque with a good
amazing.
diet.
That is amazing. That's why you've got to get your hiney here. Come see Dr. Serge because he's a functional medicine doctor. He's talking about nutrition. He's got answers for all this stuff. You know, I always come to you about, well, what about somebody that's kind of touching into the cancer world and stuff? Come see me. What about Parkinson's? You know, get started Parkinson's. Come see me. What about, now sometimes they're too far along. And chemo, and got to get into those different things. But man, oh man, I got to get some family members here.
That's why I'm all about prevention. Because when you cross the line that is too late, it's hard to reverse what's going on.
Right.
But it's always better to do it now than waiting.
That's great.
And the body can heal itself.
The body can heal.
That's the key. Anything can be helped.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's a hard thing for a lot of people to take that step and understand that. It really is because, well, we're in the Western Hemisphere. We're in the United
Yes.
States. It's Western medicine or go
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we've been trained. I was trained to have this mindset to believe in your medical doctors. Whatever they recommend, you do it.
medical doctors are quote unquote gods.
They are at some
Listen
degree.
to your doctor.
Yeah. And today, hopefully, there's a big awakening. People are starting to see that
This is true.
they need to take in
Don't
charge.
be around too. We need those medical doctors.
Oh, yeah. No question
Yeah,
there.
you know,
No
that's-
question there.
You know, but we also need doctors of nutrition,
Correct.
which is really important.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging in with us today. This is some really fascinating stuff. Eat fats. Eat fat.
It sounds weird,
It
right?
sounds
But
even weird coming out of my mouth. Eat fat.
and at some point, maybe next time we can talk about why we need to eat fat
Yes.
to stay young and reverse aging.
Whoa! Now you're touching
Stay
on
tuned.
something. Yes.
I know.
TJ Weaver, Dr. Serge. Hey, come and see us.